Hey, this is Andrew. In this video, let's take a look at Cloud SQL. So Cloud SQL is a way of deploying managed SQL databases. There's also Spanner, which is SQL-like or SQL compatible, and that's fully managed. But Cloud SQL is just your usual databases here. There are different ones that we can deploy. We have MySQL, Postgres, etc. I personally like Postgres, so that is normally what I would like to deploy here. And you can see right away that we have some options where we can go here and just start spinning one up here. Let's go ahead and walk through the steps ourselves so that we know what we're doing. Very simple choices here. Down below we have AlloyDB for Postgres. And this is also a really good option. But we are going to take a look at Postgres first and ignore MySQL. No one who's using MySQL anymore. So we have a couple options here. We have Enterprise Plus or Enterprise. It should tell us the cost here down below. And it doesn't because we don't have everything chosen. So I'm not trying to spend a lot of money. So let's just do normal enterprise. We are going to use the development preset. And we have 30 total without usage discount, 30 cents. I don't think it's that cheap, but whatever, that's fine. As long as it's not costing me a lot of money. And so the latest version is Postgres SQL 17. We're going to call this my PSQL server. The password, it's going to be pretty finicky. So I suppose we'll let it generate a new one here. I'm going to copy it out and just dump it here. Nope, didn't copy. Let's go back over to here and show it. I'm going to go right click copy. And I'm just pasting here, right click paste. So we're just holding on to that password for a little bit so we don't have to figure it out. I don't like complex passwords when showing stuff here, but they do have the generate button, so why not? There's obviously a password policy that you can enforce here. I'm going to go to Toronto, as that's where I like to deploy things, assuming it's available. It's all about availability. We are looking for North America and Northeast 2. Single zone is fine for me. If you want more availability, you can go ahead and do that yourself. Customize your instance. So let's go down below here and take a look. So here we could choose our machine image. I will use shared. I want this to be cheap. I think that these presets were already set here, and so maybe the cost might have gone up. But I just want to go through here and show you how to make it really cheap if you're not using the presets there. So we're going shared core. We're going really small here. For our storage options here, HDD is even cheaper. I don't need a lot. We'll do 10 gigabytes. For connections, we have public and private. I'm going to want to connect to this publicly, so we'll have that as an IP address here. You can specify CIDR ranges. That's fine as well. We're going to leave that alone. Google Cloud Service Authorization. Allow Google Cloud Services like BigQuery to access data. We might want to do that later on. For security, we're going to leave it so that Google manages it for data protection. I'm turning off backups. Again, we're doing this just for to demo, right? I don't want it to prevent instance deletion. That might get annoying. I don't want to retain anything right now. Let's go to maintenance. We'll just say any. It doesn't really matter because we're going to just connect to this and delete it afterwards. Query insights. Helps you detect and diagnose performance issues. That can be really useful, but I'm not turning that on here today. And we'll go ahead and take a look. And so we really have this, this is hourly cost estimator. So it's not showing us the monthly cost. Okay, and we'll go ahead and create that instance. And so instantly we're over here and it's saying the instance is being updated. So I don't believe that it is ready. If we go over to SQL here for instances, we have the status here and it says instance is being updated. So we're going to wait till I think that this icon changes and it's just a solid green one. Could be wrong, but we'll wait here a little bit, okay? All right, our Postgres server is apparently ready. We'll want to go ahead and connect to it. Just to make it really clear where to find that, I'm going to go here to SQL. All right, so I'm just kind of backing out and making this a little bit easier. We're going to click into here. On the left-hand side, we have connections. And so we're starting to get connection information. So this looks like a connection. It's just a connection. Yeah, it's just a connection name. It kind of looked like a connection endpoint, but I wasn't exactly sure there, but now I am. So it has a public IP address. So technically it should be accessible. Just taking a look here. Yeah, so I think it should work. So we're going to need some way to connect to this, and I do have this environment here, but I'm not sure if I have that set up. An easy way to connect to a database is using Table Plus. This is one piece of software you can use. It has a free tier. I've been using it for years, and it's fine. So we'll go ahead and open that up. And if I don't have it installed, do I not have Table Plus installed? Well, look at that. I don't have it installed. So we're going to go ahead and install Table Plus. There's probably like free ones also within extensions, but this one just happens to work easily. So we'll go ahead and do that. And hopefully that works without problems for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this set up here. Okay. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, so let's go ahead and launch Table Plus. And so now we are here in Table Plus. It can take a connection URL, but I think it depends if you're on Mac or Windows. So we're going to make a connection here, and I want to make a connection to a Postgres database. So you can see it supports quite a few things. And so this will just be my, or like SQL Cloud GCP. And so we're going to need to start grabbing information and putting it in here. So obviously one thing is the password. So I'm going to go grab that before I lose it. As I place it in a very precarious location, we're going to put the password right there. The next thing is the name of our connection name. So here, so really that's the whole name. I keep thinking that this is the host, but we'll go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to paste that here. I'm trying to think, what did we set as the username? I mean, I don't remember setting any username, so over here, I guess we'd have to set up users, right? So here we have Postgres, and there is no password set to it. Well, wouldn't the password be the password we set for the database? It would be, right? So I'm going to go ahead here and copy the Postgres user. You're normally supposed to create an additional user and log in, but it's totally fine if we don't do that. We'll go to databases because you can have multiple databases within here. The only database that's in here is the default database. I like how we have the options to create stuff here, and we can try that in a moment. And so we're basically logging in as the most permissive user that we can here. And so we'll go ahead and test this connection. So this driver error, unknown error. Well, that doesn't really help me too much. And we'll give it the port 5432. We'll test it again. So I'm not exactly sure as to why. It's not really giving us a whole lot of information. So if that doesn't work, let's go ahead over here. Normally it's easier than that. We'll go over to connections and we'll go to test connectivity. And I don't know if this is too much work. No, I think it's connectivity to the database, so it's not really what we want. But we have a public IP address. Connection name. There is also a public IP address. So I'm going to go ahead here and provide that there. That might actually make more sense. And we'll test that. I'm so used to there being a host name, and so maybe I just was a little bit too eager to do that there. And so I don't see anything coming back from our test, so I'm not sure if it worked or not. We'll go ahead and maybe save this, because maybe it did work. Here it's specifying that this is local. It's technically not local. It's unknown driver error. We'll just ignore that for a second. We're going to go to production here. We'll test that again. 5432, that's standard port. Password's in here. Database is in here. Postgres is our user. We'll go ahead and hit connect. Did this connect? It didn't error out. And we don't see anything here. So what I'll do, unknown driver error. I'm not sure about that. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a new database. And we'll just call this tasks. Okay. You cannot create a database since there's a pending operation. Oh yeah, okay. So now we have our tasks. And I'm going to go back over to here. And let's see if we can refresh or see more information here. So I'll just close that out. I'm going to edit this. We're going to choose the database as tasks. And we'll now connect to that. Okay. And yeah, it looks like it's not really establishing connection. So I don't think that is, I don't think that's working. So just give me a second here. I'm going to try to figure out how we can get connected to this. So if our external connection is not working for whatever reason, I know on the overview page, we also have this option here. I think it populates this so we can actually log in. Let's see if we can get in this way. The other thing is, like, does our firewall rules allow folks to connect to it, and do firewall rules apply there? I'm not sure. So we have gcloud SQL connect MySQL server, Postgres quiet. We'll go ahead and hit enter. And here it says the SQL admin API is not being used before or it is disabled. So that could be maybe part of the reason as to why we're not able to access it. So here, what I'm going to do is we'll type in, see if we can get the API this way. We'll try this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and activate that. Okay, so that's now activated. You can, obviously, there's lots of ways to enable permissions, and that's just the way we did it here. So we'll go ahead and we'll try this again. And so now say allowing your IP for incoming connection for 5 minutes, working. And it's thinking. We'll give it a moment there to think. It is progressing now, connecting database with the SQL password. Oh, so we need to provide the password, which is a bit of a headache, but we'll go ahead and copy this. We'll go back over to here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. I'm going to hit, oops. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter here. It should have been pasted in. And so now we're connected to the database. And if we list all databases here, or was it LS? DLS? That was LS for list databases. It's been a while, so list all databases, Postgres. It's a \L, right? Yeah, it's \L. But the point is that we are connected to this database here. But maybe we can connect to the other database. So we'll do \C and then just say tasks. And so this one needs a password. Okay. We'll go back over to here. Good thing I kept my stuff over here. We'll paste and hit enter. So now we're on the task database. I'm just copying and pasting that password each time. So if we wanted to, let's say, create a table in here, I'm just going to go to Claude here and just say, like, create me SQL to create a tasks table and 3 records for Postgres. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll just get some quick SQL here so we don't have to write it. There we go. I don't know if we need indexes and all that other stuff, but I guess we'll go ahead and just paste it in. I'm not sure if it'll take all of them in one go, but we'll find out here in just a moment. Okay, you obviously have to find this stuff yourself. So now I'll just say describe. So now we have a task table. We say select all from tasks. And so we can see inside of it. I would like to externally connect, but there's obviously some other thing going on here that's going to allow us permissions. I want to go take a look at our firewall rules. I'm not sure if firewall rules apply here to our VPCs, or sorry, our SQL databases. So I don't see anything open here. So let's go back over to SQL Cloud. And let's just take a look at our networking settings, because maybe something had to be open. So what I'm looking for here is something to do with networking. You can also read the docs here if we want to find another way to connect. And whoop, I didn't even know about this. Log into your database. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that would be fun. Built-in database. Sure. Let's try this. This is wasn't what I was looking for, but it looks like this is an easier interface to interact with it. I don't think I've actually ever used this before. Oh, cool. There we go. Well, why were we doing it the hard way when we could just access our database this way the entire time? Gemini Code Assist can help us write code. That sounds fun. So here I can say, like, create 20 more records for me to insert into the tasks table. And we'll generate that out. Cool. SQL is a query language and not a data generation tool. Well, yeah, you can. That's not very useful. Okay, but sure you can. Create me. So that's kind of annoying. Let's go here and just like, can you create me 20 records of data, not in SQL, just in text. Let's go ahead and see that. Because what I want to see is if that tool will actually write it for us. Okay, I don't know if I can take all of it, so I'll just take the first 4. And we'll go back over to here. And we'll say, turn this into inserts for tasks. Can it do this? I mean, it definitely did that. So fix login page to resolve. We'll go back over to here. See if any of that maps up. It does, so we'll go ahead and try that and run it. There we go. So we just inserted. That's cool. And I mean, all that really is just an editor. I'm not sure if they have a preview mode. That'd be really, really nice. I don't think it does. Maybe we can go here. Let's see. No, but it'd be nice to be able to see the data, right? So like here we can go in and we can see that structure. At least I don't know how to do it, so that's totally fine. But anyway, my goal really was how do we externally connect to it? Because if we're working with an application, you're going to need to know how to do that, right? Now, maybe this is less of an issue. Maybe when you're on the internal network, it's easier. But the idea that it has a public-facing IP address made me think that it would be able to handle that there. So just give me a second, okay? All right, for those who don't know, I've actually recorded this before in the Digital Cloud Leader. So it shows it's been a little while since I've done it. And so it looks like the way I did it last time is I went and I edited it because there were settings under the network. This interface is a little bit different, but under security, there was a way to authorize networks. Maybe it was under connections here. So it says, you can specify a CIDR range to allow IP addresses in those ranges to access it. And so what I'm doing here is I'm adding a network, and I just say my home network. Or here we could say from anywhere. So I could say 0.0.0.0/32. That's obviously not what you want to do. You probably look up your own IP address, and we could do that. Say, what's my IP address? Here. And waiting for the IPv4. There we go. So I'm going to grab this IPv4 address. We'll go back over to here. And I'll just do this and say /32. It wouldn't be 0.0.0/32. That makes no sense. To be 0.0.0/0 for everyone. For everywhere, we'll say my home network. And so this will allow us to establish that connection. And we'll go ahead and save that. And then we'll go and try Table Plus again once it's updating. Notice that we have this symbol here. So it can look like it's ready, but it's not. And so if you go to connections here, it's showing you that it's still updating. So we'll wait for that to finish updating, okay? All right, our server is updated. And so now we've added that to the network. We're going to go back over to Table Plus. And I think we already have most of our connection information in there. And now we're able to connect instantly, no problem there. So yeah, it's interesting. The last time I did it, exact same problem, forgot that setting. But yeah, there you go. So we are done here. So we'll go ahead and tear down the server. Okay, and we'll say my PSQL server. I don't need a backup. We'll go ahead and delete that. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.